Hey everybody, Striders here with another pre-game stats. So starting right along, red team we have Ahri, Riven, Nunu, Corki, and Soraka. And for the blue team we have Ezreal, Maokai, Ryze, Janna, and Tryndamere. So far starting at Ahri versus the Ryze. Ahri has played about 25 games with Ahri at a 52% win ratio, and Ryze has played a lot more, about 90 games with Ryze at a 63% win ratio. And a lot of people also consider Ryze to be a relatively hard counter to Ahri. So due to Ahri's inexperience with her champion in comparison to Ryze, and Ryze having a natural kind of counter to Ahri, I'm going to go ahead and give mid lane to Ryze. I think he might actually win pretty hard, especially with the support of Maokai. He's also extremely strong ganker. So going right along to Maokai versus the Nunu in the jungle. This particular Nunu has only played 2 games at a 50%. It's actually NintenDudeX, not Josh Atkins. Well, that's his scrub account. But anyway, only played 2 games with Nunu on this account, and win rate is 50%. But then again, it's hard to say in comparison to his main account. Although Maokai has only played about 25 with the 34% win ratio, and he also mains caster and not really jungler like NintenDudeX does typically. So I think that's going to be relatively even, but since NintenDudeX just has more experience with the game and with the jungle at a competitive level, I'm going to go ahead and give this one to Nunu, just because of those reasons. As far as top lane goes, we have Riven versus Tryndamere. And Tryndamere mains support and Riven mains AD carry, but she has played Riven about 54 times, and Tryndamere has actually played him 38 times, so it's not too big of a difference, but Tryndamere is a 71% win ratio as opposed to Riven's 59% win ratio. This is very interesting because you don't really see too many Tryndameres top. Well, you don't really see too many Tryndameres at 2000 ELO anyway, but it should be very interesting. I'm not exactly sure who will win that, but going straight from the stats, it looks like Tryndamere has a slight advantage as far as experience. Well, maybe not. He has less experience, but 10% higher win rate. So it'll be interesting. It'll definitely be interesting. So looking at Corki versus Ezreal, Corki has played over 120 games with Corki at a 60% win ratio, as opposed to Ezreal's 18 games with a 61%. So with just the massive amount of experience that the Corki player has playing Corki, as well as him maining AD carry and Ezreal maining top, I'm definitely going to give the overall advantage to the Corki. As far as the support lane goes, or the support champions goes, Soraka versus Janna. Janna's played a ton. She mains support at 436 games at 52% win ratio. Soraka only has like 30, 40 games played with Soraka, but she does have a 63%. With that particular combo, Soraka and Corki, it's not a kill combo, but it'll allow Corki to spam his abilities quite a bit, and also provide him with the health regen from the poke coming out from Ezreal. I don't think Ezreal Janna is as strong as they wanted it to be. They're very pokey and very disengagey, but they're not really going to win their lane, if that makes sense. So I think they'll be really good in team fights, but I think they'll probably lose their lane. So overall, if you take a look at, combine all the games together, you do have 59.43% win chance for the red team and a 55.10% chance for the blue team. And just based off the sheer amount of games that the blue team has an advantage over the red team, they have a lot more played. So the red team only has 250 games played in ranked, and the blue team has over 600. So it's a pretty big difference as far as experience with the champions that they're playing. And with the percentages being so close, I'm going to go ahead and give this game to the blue team. I'm going to go against the stats on this and say that the blue team will probably win it. But let's get in the game and see how it turns out. Hey everybody, Striders back with another daily high ELO casting. And a majority of the reason why I wanted to get this game is because there's a Tryndamere. We don't actually see that too much in high ELO, so it's really interesting to see how that is all going to be played out. Also, Josh Atkins is actually NintenDudeX. In case you're wondering, it's one of his Smurf accounts. It's still like 2100 ELO or something ridiculous. But yeah, so we're going to see a very, very interesting match here. There's a lot of snares, well, maybe not a lot, but with Maokai and Ryze, I'm very scared for the Ahri. Even if she gets her ult off, it's going to be incredibly difficult just because of the amount of CC and burst that the Maokai and Ryze combo can do. It's going to be really dangerous for Ahri, so I am pretty interested to see how that's all going to work out. So as far as Ezreal goes, it looks like he's running some armor penetration. Yeah, he does have a little bit of armor pen, but a majority of it's going to be his attack damage, his base attack damage that he has for his runes. So that'll be nice. That's pretty standard nowadays. Let's see, Maokai, it looks like he's going pretty far into defense. That is also relatively normal because he is kind of a tank late game. That's what he's there for. He just kind of absorbs a lot of hits. He's also deceptively tanky because of his passive. Let's see. As far as Ryze goes, let's see. Yeah, he's going to be doing the spell penetration with the Ryze. He also is running some cooldown reduction, which is pretty normal, I suppose.
30 seconds until
as far as Janna goes, let's see. Janna's just going a little bit of cooldown reduction. She's probably just kind of spec'd into the normal utility. Tryndamere, however, he is going very heavy in armor pen. He has 20 armor pen with that, or 21 armor pen with that 10%. So that is going to be incredibly scary. I'm assuming he's not going to go for that brutalizer early like some Tryndameres do. I'm interested to see what he's actually going to pick up later on in the game, though. As far as Ahri goes, it looks like she went a pretty heavy ability power book, which isn't, too far off the norm. I personally prefer a little bit more magic pen than ability power, just because her spells are more spammy. But she does do a little bit of true damage, and that's probably why she didn't go with that. As far as Riven goes, Riven is also running pretty heavy armor penetration page, not as much as Tryndamere, but it's still pretty heavy. And it looks like Nunu's actually going pretty deep into the offensive page. He's got a lot of armor pen himself. So that's gonna be interesting. Usually you see Nunu's, he has armor pen and magic pen, so he's very heavy down into that offensive tree. So that's gonna be a crazy weird late game for the Nunu. I'm not sure if that's a standard build. He does do quite a bit of auto attacks just to get the free spells, and as you can see, the blue team did counter jungle his wraiths. Not going to be too big of an issue for him, as he's just a fine counter jungler himself. Corki, he looks like, he's definitely going pretty much all attack damage. Not quite as much as Ezreal. I think Ezreal has no, Ezreal just has quite a bit more just because of the shield. Soraka, however, she's going to go primarily into that defensive role, it seems. I don't even think... let's see here. Should be an interesting match, though. As far as the two bottom lanes are concerned, if we look at Soraka and Corki versus the Ezreal Janna, Ezreal and Janna are really good at kiting and really good at long-range poke. It looks like Soraka and Corki are just looking to farm as much as possible with mitigating any possibilities. Soraka's just going to keep beating mana. Oh, and Ryze gets initiated on really hard. He's going to have to flash over, but he still goes down from the last auto attack in the last tick of Ignite. Going down from Ahri. Great gank coming out from Nunu, being able to pick up that first blood of the game at 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Super early on in the game, but that's an incredibly powerful gank. I was actually expecting a little bit more of an aggression early game coming up from the Maokai and the Ryze, to be honest. But I believe that Nunu, being played by NintenDudeX, saw that coming and decided to kind of take matters into his own hands. So great job by Nunu, being able to recognize that there was a threat in mid and also try to help mitigate it. So that's going to be good. That's going to give Ahri a pretty big advantage in lane. She is up in CS. She is also up in gold by quite a bit. Already up 500 right now. And Nunu's coming in for another gank. A lot of auto attacks again coming in. Rune Prison coming out with a little bit of spells, but not going to do too much since he is kind of low level. He does not have that Tear of the Goddess. He does have a Sapphire Crystal, but that's just not going to be enough for damage right now. So let us see. Looks like Tryndamere is kind of stuck up here just farming by himself right now. Riven is going all over the place, but it looks like Maokai is trying to set up for a gank for this Ryze. They might go for the flash, but there's 3 members of the red team there. This is going to be a crazy fight if this actually goes off. Ahri's really trying to bait it. Gonna run into this bush. Gets Arcane. Oh my gosh, and a huge fight going down. Ryze go down almost immediately, but Ahri's really close to going down herself. And she's at 28 health. It's not going to do it. And yes, it looks like the double buffs are going to be transferred onto Riven, in a huge lead for the red team so far. Absolutely perfectly played. Great bait by Ahri, and she just barely got out of there. That was really scary. I'm surprised she got out of there, and I'm actually surprised she hasn't gone back yet. But now red team is making a huge transition top. Tryndamere luckily gets out of there in time. Not going to get engaged onto by the 2 members of the red team. But Nunu definitely making his presence known. He does not want to go unseen. Oh, and Ezreal coming down. They're coming up from bottom, picking up that kill. Ahri just overstayed her welcome way too much. She really needed it back quite a bit before. I think after the Maokai went down, she should have just went back since her minions were pushing anyway. But it's just one of those things you do learn after a while. You know when you can push, when you can't. The lack of wards on the red team in River really did kind of... it did prevent him from noticing that it was actually going on. So I'm glad Soraka... I mean, she had 3 wards. I'm not sure why she didn't put any down. That was her first ward that she just recently put down in that River. And that is a mistake that supports don't typically make. But she is noticing that Maokai's not really going for any ganks right now. He's been kind of occupied up in mid, so not having to worry too much. Janna getting off a tornado onto the Soraka, but missing the Corki. It's just not going to be enough. She's using her mana potions as well as her health potions, but she is out of wards, and that's something that the red team really needs to notice. And she's going to put a shield on herself, do a little bit of auto attacks and a Zephyr, but she takes a lot more damage than it's worth and also uses quite a bit of mana. Soraka can just, like I said, keep feeding Corki that mana to help out with the harass, the constant just barrage of auto attacks, as well as that phosphorus bomb that just does so much damage. Just base damage is all you really need. And, oh my gosh, so at this point, Ryze is quite a bit behind. He's only 2 creep kills behind, which isn't too bad, but... as far as gold is concerned, he is still about 600, so just about as far as behind as he was, but now Nunu's coming in. Riven's trying to get out of the fight, and it looks like the ghost coming out. Is it going to be enough? And a great stun coming out from Ahri. The unending rage, undying gold. And oh my gosh, a very close execute coming out from, oh my gosh, it just doesn't quite pick it up though. And in the meantime, Ahri actually goes down bot. Let's take a look at that. Let's see. Okay, so Ahri's going to come in here, throws down her ultimate, throws down another swing, gets 1 hit of the Orb of Deception, misses the charm, but the Ignite's going to pick up the kill. And a great job by Ahri being able to pick up the kill. She did use a lot of spells and missed a few, but that was just a wonderful job by the Ezreal, just being able to avoid as much as possible. Unfortunately, it just wasn't quite enough. And again, here's another member of the red team just really overstaying their welcome. Yes, and the Twist Advance going down with the Arcane Smash, and the last hit, it looks like Ahri actually tried to bunny hop away, but hit Maokai on the way down, which aggroed the tower. Very unfortunate for the Riven, but you know, when you stay too long, you stay too long. It looks like they were trying to go for a tower kill there. They were putting a lot of pressure on it, but the tower is going to be able to pick up a few creep kills, kind of zoning out, preventing a little bit of experience and gold going out of the Tryndamere, but it's not going to be that significant. Now with Nunu picking up the red buff, he's going to be much more terrifying. Just because his auto attacks, he does have a little bit of armor pen, that's going to help, but then the true damage coming out from the red buff is going to help even more than you think. But now Tryndamere is going to be throwing a ward in that tri-bush and not have to worry about the Nunu for a while. Now he's coming around the back, and this is a perfect time to gank, because he just barely missed the Nunu, and he's not even going to notice it. Looks like he's just going to go ahead and counter jungle, take its race, get a little bit of extra farm, as well as deny the enemy jungler just a little bit. And that's just overall wonderful play, and Soraka finally warding this tri-bush. They know that they've been pushing pretty constantly for the last 3 or 4 minion waves, so she knows that she does not want that Maokai to come down bot and gank unknowingly. So she is going to apply her wards in the proper placements. Again, she still has 2 wards in her slot. She doesn't have any boots, so that's really scary. But Riven is now getting initiated on by the Tryndamere. Is Tryndamere going to be able to get another slow on her? I don't know if it's going to happen. Yes, he does. He might have his unending rage. Oh my gosh, no, one more auto attack is going to pick it up. And yes, he does do his undying rage. Wonderful job by Tryndamere being able to get out of there. Probably wasn't needed, but it doesn't really matter. He was able to pick up the kill with the help of Ryze and that snare. So let's see if we can get back to live and get back to the actual lot of action. Ezreal throwing out the ultimate, and a wish coming out from Soraka, but it's not going to do that much because Corki was ignited, so that's going to reduce the incoming heals by about 50%, and that is absolutely huge when you have a cooldown that's that long. But now Nunu gets exhausted, still puts on some auto attacks just for the sake of the true damage and a little bit of extra, but forcing Janna to use that exhaust is absolutely huge. Now Maokai is there at the bottom. They do see that there's a ward there, and Nunu gets hit by the tornado, but he's going to be able to get out of there without any problems. Maokai is not going to actually initiate onto that, which is probably a good thing because Soraka and Corki were both there, and that would have been incredibly dangerous. So it looks like Ahri's kind of in the mid, and there could be a lot of action going down in the bottom lane. They're probably going to have a huge jungle war, probably just a giant team fight, just so they can apply that pressure onto the dragon and try to get an early advantage, and even more of an early advantage. Red team's kind of slipping it. They were at a 0-3 lead as far as kills go. Now the blue team has almost stabilized their losses, and now Ahri gets a great charm, but is going to have to run away, and yes, a lot of damage going out. And now Nunu with the absolute zero is going to proc, and Riven coming in with their ultimate down. The Orb of Deception isn't going to quite do it, and now, oh my gosh, Maokai is ignited. Is it going to kill him? He's at 89, no, 92 health. It's not going to be enough. Riven and Nunu are not going to be able to go any further onto that. But this can be dangerous. Ezreal throws out his ultimate, just barely misses the Nunu. Oh my gosh, really scary there. Oh, Nunu recalled in such a weird position that Ezreal just couldn't predict it. He thought he was going to keep running, and so he might have hit him at that point in time if he was going towards ramp, but unfortunately it just did not hit him where he thought it was going to. So unfortunate, but Tryndamere doing a ton of damage, just being able to take down this top tower. Since Riven has been roaming quite a bit, he's going to be able to take down that top tower at about 12.5 minutes without any issues whatsoever. He also has a kill to boot. And this is not good. Anytime Tryndamere starts getting fed, it's a very dangerous game in the long run, especially when you throw a Janna in the mix. So Janna's going to put out a great tornado, twist advance coming out onto the Corki, and the Janna ultimate just pushing him back even more, but now Corki's instantly going to take down this Ezreal, but it's not going to be quite enough. Corki is now turning his focus onto the Janna, but he's going to go down from the combination of the twisted advanced and the arcane smash. And now Ahri, does she have, yes, she does have her ultimate. She's going to pick up a kill, hits the charm, gets one more shot of her ultimate, but now gets Rune Prism by the Ryze. Ryze is going to do as much damage as he can. He probably should have been going after the Soraka. Soraka gets the silence off. It's going to help a lot, but he is going to be able to take her down, and then he's going to flash away from the Ahri. Wonderful play by the Ryze. Absolutely beautiful. Just beautiful. And Tryndamere is now down here. He's going to do a lot of damage. He just keeps auto-attacking, building up that rage. Gets a crit in her, too. It's really going to hurt. And yes, the Spitting Slash is going to finish up the kill on that Ahri. Very unfortunate. Now Nunu's coming in, going to get that Ice Blast, going to throw down some auto attacks. Now Riven's coming out. And, uh-oh, she gets the snap, but oh my gosh, Spinning Slash comes out, and now the Ghost. Riven uses her flash to get over that ledge, and I think that was a little bit of a mistake, but she did force the Ghost out on Tryndamere, so that's really all that matters. Tryndamere is just so scary with the combination of this Janna. They have just a very mobile team as far as speed goes, because Ryze, when he pops ultimate, he gets some movement speed. Just the constant spam of Spinning Slash from Tryndamere is going to be a lot, and that extra, just the passive on Janna is really going to help the games for Maokai, the initiations, as well as providing Ezreal the chance of getting away. And now blue team takes the dragon without any issues. They have stabilized their kills, and oh my gosh, the kill almost going down onto Soraka, but missed a couple skill shots because of Soraka's flash, and wonderfully played by the blue team. They're able to take out the dragon, apply so much pressure bot right afterwards that it's going to force them to back off. Corki is still here. He's going to throw down a couple rockets, not actually going to land them though. Now we're just going to see what they can do to try to turn this back around in their favor. Red had, like I said, a really early advantage, but it looks like Maokai is stepping up his game, really trying to apply pressure all around the map. He does have 2 gold for 10 items, as well as those boots of mobility, and a great charm coming out from Ahri, getting the both hits of the Orb of Deception on, as well as her Firefoxes, and this mid tower on the blue side is really close to coming down. She is going to be able to pick up this blue buff though, and that's significantly going to help her push that lane and probably take that tower. So right now blue's up a tower and a dragon, and that's basically where they have that advantage of gold from, and that is very important to note. Red team did get first blood, and like I said, they were up by 3 kills really early before blue's even on the board. But it looks like Riven just did a little bit too much counter trolling, and a great ward coming out from Nunu. Oh my gosh, one more auto attack and that ward would have been gone. It was really close. Oh, now a charm coming out from Ahri, and the Firefox actually hitting minions instead, and it doesn't look like Tryndamere is going to be able to get out of this. He does do his Spinning Slash, tries to go directly onto Ahri. Ahri throws down her ultimate and picks up the Tryndamere. Great job by Ahri. She misses the charm, very unfortunate. She will have to flash away from that sapling because the explosion would have killed her. She did use the flash. She was able to get out of there successfully. Great attempt by Maokai. Didn't want to jump in there because Riven and Nunu were still at extremely high health. And that goes the mid tower on the blue side. And that's going to give quite the advantage to the red team now. They have come back from their losses, and they're definitely showing that this is going to be a back and forth fight. Maybe just an overall great game. It'll probably be even until about 25-30 minutes until we start going for those huge team fights for Baron. Ezreal just kind of throwing out some spells, trying to do a little bit of harass on the Soraka, which I kind of think is pointless. She was trying to recall. He may have just been trying to delay the recall a little bit, but it really didn't do anything. So now Ezreal is just pushing incredibly hard. He does have that really early fade, as well as another longsword with the Vampiric Scepter. So we don't know exactly what he's going to be buying into at this point. It could be a couple things, but usually you would see just a straight up Trinity Force build coming out this early on in the game. He does have 1 kill and 1 assist. Not incredibly farmed, but then again, he's 30 CS behind the Corki. And a great twisted advance coming out onto the Ahri. Oh my gosh, now a lot of damage coming up. Ahri's going to be able to lifesteal through quite a bit of it. And Ryze goes out with the flash, gets the Rune Prism, does as much damage as he can. Absolute Zero is going to be able to pick up the slow enough for Ahri to pick up the kill. And now the Arcane Smash is going down. Nunu's going to throw as much damage as he can. The Monsoon coming out from Janna, probably a waste since the Tornado and the Zephyr should have been enough to disengage that Nunu. But that's a great load off of the red team's shoulders. If they want to do something really big, they're going to really want to push against this Janna while it's on 2 minutes of a cooldown. So I expect Corki and Soraka to apply a lot of pressure at this bottom tower at this point. And blue team is being signaled to back off. Red team is pinging them. Nunu did get spotted out by those minions. And now, oh my gosh, Ezreal face checks that bush super hard. And the heal coming out from Soraka doing a lot of damage. And the flash forced out of the Ezreal from, oh my gosh, now twist advance going on Soraka. Soraka gets Rune Prism, and now it's going to go down to the constant barrage of spells from Ezreal. And the Ryze, and oh my gosh, the Undying Rage. Is Tryndamere gonna be able to get out of there? To slow her down, tries to reduce her attack damage, not gonna do too much since she's primarily spells. And wonderful job by the Tryndamere being able to pick up a kill, almost getting away. He did have to wait for a spinning slash to come up. It just wasn't quite there. Now Ahri and Nunu look like they could be pushing mid, but it looks like they're just kind of getting the creeps off their tower so they can recall and possibly buy some money. But now Ezreal counters with the wonderful ultimate, not really killing any creeps, but taking them all to about half, just to aid in the pushing of Ryze, because Ryze is kind of a inefficient, I would say, inefficient farmer, and he does have to basically spam his Q whenever it's off cooldown. Now, great charm coming out from Ahri, and the help with Nunu's Ice Blast coming up. Great bonus assist gold coming out from the red team. Ryze had absolutely no idea what was coming. He just got absolutely obliterated in that mid fight, or the mid lane. They do have wards there, so I'm not 100% sure how he did not see. It would have had to gone through this like really weird pathing in order to not be seen by either that ward at Baron or this ward in the bush. Very unfortunate for the Ryze that he did get caught out like that though, but it's not too much you can do against an Ahri with a Charm and a Nunu plus the Ice Blast. That's just going to be too much. Too much for him to handle. So let's see, a really early Negatron Cloak going on to the Ahri. She does already have her Death Cap, and that's really scary. She has a Death Cap and a Negatron Cloak at 20 minutes. She's probably going to be going towards that Abyssal Scepter really quickly now. And oh my gosh, Boots is going after another dragon. They really need this. And the red team was able to steal that dragon. The Ezreal ultimate coming out. The Monsoon from Janna is going to be able to heal up the Maokai as much as possible, and he's going to throw down an Arcane Smash. Corki is now getting caught out, gets Rune Prism from Ryze. Ryze just going to constantly throw as much damage as he can. He does have to flash over the wall. He's going to get caught out now by Tryndamere, but Tryndamere actually gets charmed. He's going to be able to pick up that kill. Is he going to be able to get off one more heal? No, he is not. Ryze does pick up the kill on Nunu though. He's able to get out there just perfectly fine, and in the entire meantime, Riven's applying so much pressure at that top lane. She's able to take down 2 of those top towers, and Ahri's just being an absolute obstruction to all of that is justice of the blue team. But wonderful job. The red team now has 3 towers as opposed to the blue team's 1. And they're also up in kills, as well as 3,000 gold, so they're getting their gold lead back. And this is where I said it's going to get really dangerous. The Absolute Zero is extremely powerful. You can catch somebody in it, or a couple people in it. It's also very good for the slow, because it slows by quite a bit, actually, as well. And 170 creep kills coming out for both Tryndamere and the Corki. So it looks like top lane is definitely in the favor of the blue team, but bottom lane is extremely in the favor of the red team. It looks like Ezreal has mitigated his losses and only down by 20 creep kills now, but it's still quite a bit, and it's going to be dangerous for him later on in the game if he doesn't really kick it up a notch. Ahri is about 20 CS ahead of Ryze, but then again, she also has 9 kills as opposed to Ryze's. Tryndamere going in really hard onto this Nunu. Nunu's going to do as much as he can. Ezreal comes out, but it misses everybody. Very unfortunate. But now they know the general idea of where Ezreal is, and they could take advantage of that, but it doesn't look like it. Looks like they're just going to kind of back off a little bit, take their blue buff as they rightfully need. And it looks like Ezreal might actually be picking up the blue buff on the blue team, since it seems like Ryze is not able to hold on to anything. Ryze has died 6 times already, and that is really scary. And again, red team applying so much pressure on towers. Being able to take out 4 already at 20 minutes in the game, that's almost a tower every 5 minutes, which is really impressive. But now, Janna does have the pink eye, and she's going to be going around, scouting out, trying to clear out as many wards as she can. But the only downside of that is she will have a giant target over her head. She does have quite a bit of kiting potential with her Monsoon and everything else with, you know, her Tornado and her Zephyr, but with a Tryndamere chasing you that whole time, it could be really, really scary. Especially since he's so fed. He does have that Phantom Dancer already, as well as
as well as the Wriggles Lantern. So the Wriggles Lantern is definitely going to help them with neutral buffs. Oh my gosh, now Tryndamere is doing so much damage to this Nunu. He's able to do quite a bit. Just spinning slash through the wall because he doesn't want to get baited into the rest of the red team. But Nunu also has his pink eye coming out. Gonna throw down an Ice Blast possibly. And the flash coming out from Ezreal. And the stun coming out. Oh my gosh. And Riven pops her ult but doesn't actually do anything in that fight. The great disengages from Janna, just proving to be way too strong. She might, yes, she does not have her ultimate anymore. She does get the snare. Oh my gosh, now charm coming out from Tryndamere. I don't think it's going to be enough. It's definitely not even going to come close to enough damage. Every time Tryndamere has that shield, it just seems like he's going in really hard. And now a Twisted Advance coming out of the Corki after Valkyries, and the Maokai goes down. Oh, he's almost down. Now he goes down. And the Riven finally goes down. The Undying Rage, the exhaust on the Soraka. I think that was possibly the wrong target. But now the Ignite going down on the Ahri, being able to pick up the kill on the Tryndamere. And great job by Nunu sweeping up the kill onto that Ryze, having absolutely no issues. The red team definitely came up on top of that fight. A 3-for-1 exchange. Ezreal throws down his ultimate. Still doesn't quite take it out. Oh my gosh, Ezreal gets absolutely destroyed by the Corki, but Corki does not able to finish it up. Very unfortunate, but head shield from Janna just proving to be too strong. And another tower going down in favor of the red team. I really expect them to go back. Now Maokai actually has a frozen heart now, and Negatron Cloak going down on a Ryze. So blue team is definitely on the back foot right now. They are getting quite a bit of those defensive items, and that's going to be incredibly scary. What's interesting is that Nunu actually has a Triforce now as well as a Warden's Mail. So that should be fairly interesting, and the Elixir of Fortitude is just going to kind of be a deceptive heal. It works almost as the Lulu Ultimate does, where it just gives you bonus maximum health, but you don't lose it once it wears out. Of course, it also gives you that attack damage that you need as well. So I'd like to see how Nunu actually uses this. He is able to utilize his pink eye really, really well. He's clearing out a lot of those wards as much as possible. Again, another ward coming out onto Nunu. Janna has her pink eye, but, oh my gosh, the Baron was aggroed for a second. It looks like it hit her, but then it stopped aggroing, and now the red team that they picked up the Janna, they're going to go for this Baron at 26 minutes in the game. And with Nunu being able to blood boil that Corki, as well as with his Consume and the Smite, it's going to be extremely difficult. Oh my gosh, blue team is starting to initiate, but they're taking a lot of damage. Ryze hasn't taken much, but Tryndamere and the Maokai have. Ahri gets really close to dying. The ultimate comes out. Ahri's almost dead, and so is the Corki. Corki's going to have to throw as many misses as he can from the back. And the flash now coming out from from two members of the red team. Now it looks like the blue team is going to be able to pick up this Baron. And yes, blue team is able to pick up the Baron. Corki gets Twisted Advance on, and then the Arcane Smash being able to be picked up by the auto attacks coming out from the Ezreal. And now, looks like Soraka may have a huge issue on her hands. Yes, she does go down after a barrage of the auto attacks from that huge broadsword that is Tryndamere's. And this is not in the position that red team wants to be. They had the lead. They still have a gold lead, but that Baron just provides so much. It just provides so much.
Red team's turret has
and
been
now
destroyed.
the middle tower from the red side actually goes down to the blue team, and it looks like they're transitioning over to Dragon. They really want to even up the score as far as gold goes. It looks like they're going to be either going to be able to even out the gold or come a little bit ahead. I think they'll probably come out ahead. Yeah, they're ahead by about 400 gold now. Like I said, it's a really, really even game right now, but with the amount of presence that the blue team has, especially with that Baron buff, it's going to be really scary for the red team. They have to play defensively. They have to play defensively. They don't, then it's going to be a lot of bad news bears. Riven actually going out onto the Tryndamere. Tryndamere is doing a lot of damage. He's going to be able to spin slash right through that Baron wall, having absolutely no problems getting away from that Corki. Now a little skirmish between Maokai and Nunu come out in the jungle, but it's not really going to be too much, and if there was a fight, it would take like 10 days. But just wonderful job by both members, just scouting out the jungle, doing what he can, but also fending off their jungle to show the like, hey, you don't have to be here, you shouldn't be here because this is my jungle, Nunu. So Nunu's just going to go back to his lane. They're going to really apply a lot of pressure in mid. It seems like Red might be a little bit overconfident. They may have forgotten that Blue actually got the Baron. I don't know how they would, but they're just applying so much pressure to where they don't have to fight on their towers, and that's just a beautiful thing. Not having to fight at your tower is really, really good. And now, oh my gosh, Nunu's coming in. He is able to take that blue buff, but I think he's going to go down, yes, with a combination of Tryndamere and Janna. Janna pops him up so that Tryndamere can get the last auto attack, and the Baron on Tryndamere is proving to be extremely powerful. The bad thing about this is that he also has double buff, so every auto attack is going to slow, and his spinning slash is going to be on a lower cooldown as well as his ultimate, all his other abilities. So right now I'm really scared for the red team, and it looks like, yes, the red team does lose another tower. That Tryndamere is just doing so much damage right now. Tryndamere has the Infinity Edge as well. Oh my gosh, it's so scary. So I'm interested to see what Tryndamere's going to go next. I'm assuming he would go like a GA or some form of defensive item, possibly a Last Whisper next, depending on how good he continues to do. And the red team is just still constantly pushing that. They're clearing out that jungle, making sure that blue team doesn't get that advantage of taking out their jungle as well. Oh, and the charm just barely missing the Janna and forcing the flash on both Janna and Ezreal. Great job by Ahri. Her ultimate is on a much lower cooldown. Much lower cooldown. So now it looks like Ryze is just kind of pushing mid as much, or sorry, pushing bottom as much as he can. The 4 members of the red team are coming. Ryze really, yes, he does end up backing off. Great job by Ryze. They know that he backed off. They have to. There's no way he didn't. But now, a big setup. Oh, Tryndamere. Oh my gosh, Tryndamere just scared me. Oh, is he going into the fight? He's going into the charm coming out from Ahri. And now a lot of damage going on to the Tryndamere. Yes, he uses Undying Rage. Is he going to be able to get out of there? Oh my gosh, he does not quite. The Ice Blast cleans him up with the help of the red buff. But that's still going to be 4 extra assists going on to the red team. That's going to be some great gold distribution. So let's go ahead and take a look at the gold. Now that Tryndamere has died once again, Corki has 1,200 gold in his pocket and Ahri has 1,100. So as you can tell just by the gold, red team does need to go back and buy pretty soon. I might expect them to take this in 1 tower, but I don't think they're going to be able to end it. Then again, Janna's really surprising me. She takes a lot of damage, but she's able to throw down that Monsoon the perfect time just to be able to disengage, and a lot of force flashes being used by the red team. Red team is just flashed over a couple walls. Oh man, there's a lot of pings going down. Blue team is pinging down middle tower. They have a nice little pathway of wards to kind of get them there through the back way. I'm not sure what they're going to be able to do with that. Looks like the dragon may come up in about 2 or 3 minutes, and the Baron is also in about 2 or 3 minutes. Right now, again, just since the Baron buff has expired, blue team is going to be a little bit weaker than they once were. Red team has, Riven actually purchased her Guardian Angel. She already has the Brutalizer as well as the Bloodthirster. She's basically full built. That's all the items you need. Oh my gosh, she's going in really hard. She gets snared by the Rune Prism from Ryze. She's not going to be able to catch up. She gets slowed by the Zephyr as well as the Phage auto attacks from Ezreal. And this is not looking good for the red team. Riven tries to engage. They just don't really have any great initiators. They have Ahri, but Ahri doesn't really want to initiate a fight just because she is so squishy. So we're going to see if they decide to do a split pushing type of strategy, or if they're just going to go all in. So the red team will have some thinking to do. Overall, Ezreal's doing wonderful in his creep kills now. Corki's still a little bit ahead, but Tryndamere is beating everybody by a relatively large margin. Tryndamere also has 6 kills, and like I said, this can be really scary later on in the game. It's almost gotten to the point where he's completely unstoppable. I'm not sure what he's going to get. I'm assuming it's going to be a Guardian Angel, and then it's going to be really hard to kill the Tryndamere, even more so than it was before. So, Corki's actually just
picking up his red buff, again, making sure that the blue team doesn't take it. They want to secure their jungle as much as possible. They want to get as much experience and gold as they can with still being safe. Janna still getting that pink eye, able to make sure that there's no wards at Baron, and it looks like Baron may be spawning soon because there's a lot of pings going down onto it. Yes, Baron just spawns. Auto attacks Janna for quite a bit of chunk of her health. And the blue team's actually going to disengage from this. They don't want to fight this, apparently. And now I'm interested to see if the red team's going to try to contest it or possibly set up a fake fight there. The pink eye coming out from Nunu once again. Actually, I think it's the same one. It might be the same. Yeah, it's the same one. So the pink eye on Nunu is really paying off for itself. He's able to clear out quite a bit of wards. And now blue team's just trying to suppress the pushing onslaught from the red team. They don't have an amazing push comp, but the Orb of Deception in combination with the Phosphorus Bomb, the big bombs, and pretty much all of Corki's spells really just do AoE damage, and they do it pretty well. Uh-oh. Red team looks like they're going for Baron. There are wards there. Baron gets attacked behind the... Uh-oh. Oh, no. So Ahri takes a hit from the Baron, slow going it down onto Nunu. I'm not sure how this Baron dance is going to end up working out for either team right now. It's going to be really close. There's only a 3k gold difference, but... Uh-oh, Ahri has 2,000 gold in her pocket right now, and that's definitely not good. I'm assuming she's waiting for that Zhonya's Hourglass, but she just didn't want to sell Doran's Ring at the time. This is really scary. Say, red team has a lot of gold in their pocket, especially that Ahri. She's the one that's really going to be putting out a lot of damage. And their Tryndamere coming out from the red team. Looks like blue team was trying to initiate there, but luckily the red team was able to get out in time. And now Janna almost getting caught in that Baron buff. That is really scary for her to continue to do that. Last time she did that, she did get caught out really easily. Went down, and then they were able to take out the wards after that. Oh my gosh, now it's just like a fake initiation a lot. And now Riven's coming in, she does her roll, she does her flash stun, is able to get it onto the Ryze. Ryze pops his ultimate, now the Absolute Zero coming out, being able to do quite a bit of damage, but it doesn't actually do significant enough of anything. And now Ezreal's just absolutely wrecking the whole team. Riven's GA is now popped by the Ezreal, and Ezreal's gonna wait for it to spawn back up. And the ultimate now coming out, doing quite a bit of damage. And the wish out from Soraka is gonna do enough. Is the red team is ahead of this? Are they gonna chase down? That's what I'm worried about. Two members of the blue team that are left alive are gonna be the Ezreal and the Janna, and a lot of health on both of them. It's gonna be a little dangerous. Ezreal has a blue buff, but he doesn't have any mana. Oh, now the blue buff is expired and he doesn't have any mana. Looks like both teams are gonna be forced to retreat this and live to fight another day. So now the red team is only down by about 2k, but again, Ahri has 2,600 gold in her pocket, Riven has 1,200, and Corki has 1,400. This is really scary because once they go back and buy, there's going to be a big change in items. There's going to be a pretty significant item swing. And again, red team is able to take out that dragon without many issues whatsoever. And they're finally going to recall. Let's see what Corki ends up buying. Riven gets a Hex Drinker. Corki gets an Infinity Edge. Absolutely crazy. And that's going to be a lot of damage coming out from Corki now. So if it wasn't bad enough, I mean, he wasn't extremely fed as far as kills go. His CS was really good. Ezreal finally caught up in CS and actually surpassed the Corki. Wonderful job. Actually surpassed everybody on the red team. And now Tryndamere is just absolutely wrecking through this Baron. Baron's had quite a bit of health, but now the Twisted Advance coming out with the Rune Prison, able to take down the Nunu almost instantly. He's trying to take down that ward, and now it looks like Tryndamere and the rest of the blue team is going to go directly onto this Baron. And again, he's doing so much damage, he's going to go down really fast. Great job by the blue team. Oh, and Soraka getting cut out here. Those H-Box are proving this to be way too strong. And he has that armor buff from her heal is just not going to be anywhere close to enough. Flash coming out from Maokai, trying to get that Twist Advance. Goes into a charm anyway, and Twist Advance with the Arcane Smash coming out, and the Tryndamere is able to pick up that Riven, and really close to picking up the Ahri, and the Undying Rage coming out from Tryndamere. He's gonna be able to survive just fine. Corki's throwing in as much damage as he can, but it's not gonna be enough. The blue team is almost completely inside red team's base. They have another little bit of a wave coming, but it looks like they're gonna finally back off. Blue team is now pinging off the blue golem that is not there on the red side. So great job by the red team, just being able to keep their buff control even though they don't have that map control that they desperately need. Now Tryndamere and the rest of the blue team is really just going to destroy this tower. One more auto attack, yes, it is going to be able to take it down. Now Tryndamere comes out, he does get an auto attack on. The charm lands successfully, but it's not going to be enough. It's just going to slow him a little bit too much. Ahri does have that Death Fire Grasp, so she's going to be able to burst somebody down extremely hard, pretty quickly as well. He definitely should not go on to that Tryndamere though, because Tryndamere has that Undying Rage, although it will force him out of the fight, and he is kind of the most fed person on the team, so it might be a good idea, but he'll probably use that Undying Rage before he even comes close to dying. Soraka's doing all that she can, but it looks like the MVP of the red team is gonna be that Nunu. So, oh, sorry, it's actually gonna be the Ahri. Ahri has a ton of kills, as well as some assists. As far as Nunu goes, Nunu has a ton of assists, has their Trinity Force, has that Randuin's Omen, just to help slow their entire team down as much as possible. Shirelli is actually going on to Soraka this time, and that is going to provide a huge movement speed buff for just a little bit of time. Maokai also has one, and that's going to help him with his initiations for sure, as well as those Boots of Mobility. Boots of Mobility is a relatively new concept to the North American scene. It's really common to have them on junglers now, just because of their ability to go from lane to lane, as well as just kind of gank, or they get from camp to camp really well, and then also gank really well because of those Boots of Mobility. And that's just something that has kind of been brought over by the European teams and some of the Korean teams. And another tower going down to that Tryndamere, and this is really scary. It's getting really grim for the red team. Blue team does still have their Baron. Baron has a little bit less than a quarter of life left. Tryndamere's just going to kind of backdoor this tower just a little bit. Does do a couple auto attacks, but it's not going to be enough. It's without any minions there taking it, you're going to do a little bit less damage to the towers, and I think that the red team knows about that. Nunu getting caught out of position, but they don't actually initiate onto him, so that's a wonderful job. And Ryze just kind of throwing out his dodgeball as well as his bouncing ball. He wants to go to recess, he really wants to play, and we're going to see what he can do in this next team fight. If his positioning is as good as it should be, then it's going to look very grim for the red team. Riven just kind of bunny hopping around, doing her Riven thing. She does have that GA, and that's going to help significantly. Corki, however, he has a very interesting build. He's not quite at the unstoppable Corki yet. He's almost there, but he's just not quite there. He's probably off about last, but that's really all he needs. Really good. The Twisted Man's coming out on Ahri with the Arcane Smash and the instant couple crits coming out from Tryndamere. Tryndamere now gets stunned, is able to get out of there with the Stupid Slash. Ezreal ultimate coming down and hitting 4 members of the red team, doing a lot of damage, and the Absolute Zero doing a ridiculous amount of damage. And now with the Shirelias being popped off to prevent that Ryze from dying. Wonderful play, wonderful play. And the first inhibitor of the game goes down. And now they're just transitioning onto that bottom tower. Twisted Man's coming out onto the Corki, gets hit in the tower range, and then gets caught by the tower, gets Rune Prison, and he's going to go down almost instantly. Wonderful.
Red team's
And
inhibitor
that's going to be
has
the
been
second
destroyed.
inhibitor for the red team. This is going to be very difficult for the red team to do anything about it. It doesn't look like they're going to. Yeah, Nunu pretty much just kind of sitting there. Does get picked off by the Ezreal, but now they're on the Nexus itself. They took out both the towers, and that's going to be a win. Just a wonderful, wonderful game. It was really back and forth at the beginning. I thought that red team was going to have it in the end, but that's just one of the casualties of casting. You never know who's going to win. It's also really good for spectating. It was super, super close again at that 26, 27 minute mark when they got Baron. That was probably the biggest turning moment in the match. So right now, make sure you guys like my videos. Make sure you subscribe to my channel if you like the daily high ELO content that I put out. What I'm going to start doing, as well as my pregame stats, I'm going to try to start recording all of these games on LoL Replay and trying to put together a website and a database for all the high ELO games that I put together. So we'll see if we can get that off the ground. I know a lot of you guys have asked specifically for replays, so I can see if I can get that for you. And again, just make sure to like and subscribe and leave comments in the comment section below, and I will see you guys later.